Hello everybody watching on YouTube, and welcome to the third non-points event here this season in Season 2 NNSCRA Marvel Studios Cup Series. I am Levi McIntyre, the voice of the NNSCRA Marvel Studios Cup Series. Excuse me, here to welcome you to All-Star Break, as we are getting set for 3 races in one video for the All-Star stuff. Now, this is unprecedented from seasons in the past on my other offline series I've done where it was only just the Open and the All-Star race. Well, because of the abundance amount of rookies this season, we are going to do a rookie dash where it's going to be all the rookies that haven't won a race this season or last season that are going to compete for 8 laps, and the top 5 highest finishing rookies, 1st through 5th, will transfer into the All-Star race. And then we'll follow that up with an 8-lap All-Star Open with the other drivers who aren't rookies that haven't won in the first 2 seasons so far of the Marvel Studios Cup Series. And then whoever finishes top 5 out of those people will transfer over to the All-Star race as well. And it will conclude with the All-Star race 15 laps. And we are here at Dragonett Superspeedway for everything going on. So let's look at the top 5 in the starting lineup for the rookie dash. Zach Rogers and Jesse King, and then Joshua Sekuli, Grayson Acevedo, and Zachary Fitzwater. So with that said, let's go ahead and get the command to fire engines for the rookie dash at Dragonett.
Drivers, start your engines!
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. So only 8 laps here at Dragonett for these 16 rookies who have not won a race yet this season. So as we look at some of the drivers throughout this field, some of the ones to keep an eye out for as far as who have been close to pulling off a W so far this season. Grayson Acevedo would probably be one of the top candidates, as I believe he is the highest starting the highest rookie in the point standings. I believe he's around 13th in points. And actually next to him, Joshua Sekuli is another one of those drivers who has come close a couple times to getting some victories. But we shall see what he will do. And I believe he's right around the same area as Grayson Acevedo in the points. Some other notables in this field to keep an eye out for. You got Cole Deaver back here in the number 92. The pole sitter from the Daytona 500. Charles Jackson being another one of those guys to keep an eye out for. And even Paul Minnick, who is also high up in the point standings for a rookie as well. But remember, it's all about who finishes in the top 5 out of all these rookies to transfer into the All-Star race. And boogity, 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 let's go racing. Well, that concludes lap number 1, and it was Jesse King who led them first. And then he's got a big gap between himself and the rest of the pack, as James Shelley is right now in second, but Matt Haas is coming in hot on the bottom. Same with Joshua Sekuli, as it's 3 wide for second But like I said, it's all about top 5, and right now those top 5 would be King, Haas, Sekuli, Cole Deaver, and right now Ashland Boyd would take that 5th spot. For now, whoa, and Boyd nearly came down in front of Charles Jackson, as pretty much everybody is still running up here in this pack, as this race is starting to zip along as Jesse King continues to lead the way here at Dragonett. And I do apologize for the informative best line being turned on. I've had that turned on from online racing, but beside the point, Jesse King's still leading. As it's getting really crazy up here, as now Phil Parker is up to 2nd. Zachary Fitzwater trying to work his way up here. Same with Nathaniel Reed in the 88. But Phil Parker's now up close to the back bumper of the 51 of Jesse King. And now he's going to make a move to the inside. So that's going to help open up the door for guys who are right behind them in the pack formation to get up here and maybe make things interesting up here at the front. Nathaniel Reed running a special patriotic number 88 Mountain Dew Chevy. And now here comes Paul Minnick with a run on the inside for the 3rd spot. Matt Haas trying to utilize the high to middle groove, middle to high groove for position, as they are 4 wide going into turn 1. And they keep it together, as now up here at the front, Phil Parker still trying to get around the 51 of Jesse King, and now he's got a push help from Paul Minnick in the 26. As we're past the halfway point here in the rookie dash. And now James Shelley has actually got up to the front now. The bottom lane got a big run right there. And now Shelley has the lead with Sekuli right behind him in 2nd. And then you got PJ Williams in the 18 up here in the mix. Ashland Boyd in the 10s coming up through the field, as is Oscar Anderson in the 82. Right now the guy furthest behind is Zachary Fitzwater, but he's still within several feet away from his teammate Zach Rogers, so he might still have a shot, though he's running out of time, and I thought they were about to wreck. But look in the middle, 2 of the Rockstar Racing cars, Paul Minnick and Cole Deaver, were working together, but now it's 4 wide. This can end badly if they are not careful. Man, oh man. But back up here at the front, it is Matt Haas leading the way. Charles Jackson now into 2nd. And Fitzwater, just as I thought, is back up into the mix of things. Whoa, and Jackson and Fiegel went down to the apron. Not sure why that happened. But now that's opened up the door for Matt Haas to try to make something work. Tim Fiegel trying to work his way into the mix as well for 2nd. But right now it is Charles Jackson in the lead as we're coming to take the white flag. White flag is out in the 8-lap rookie dash. Top 5 at the line was Jackson, Fiegel, Haas, Nathaniel Reed, and Paul Minnick. That might get changed up because here comes guys like Phil Parker and James Shelley as they're 4 wide again. And now Tim Fiegel, I believe, Tim Fiegel is now up in the lead. But here comes Jesse King, who led early on in the dash. He wants to win the dash for himself, and he's got the run on the inside to make it happen. And I think it's going to be Jesse King coming to the checkered flag for the rookie dash. Jesse King wins the rookie dash here at Dragonett to transfer in the All-Star race. And according to the leaderboard, the rest of the top 5 that will transfer will be Matt Haas, Tim Fiegel, Phil Parker, and James Shelley. So all 5 of those drivers are in the All-Star race. Congratulations to all 5 of those competitors. But let's look at the rest of the results. It was Joshua Sekuli, then PJ Williams, Cole Deaver, Nathaniel Reed, Zachary Fitzwater, and then rounding out the rest of the field was Grayson Acevedo, Zach Rogers, Ashland Boyd, Paul Minnick, Charles Jackson, and Oscar Anderson. But that was some really good 8-lap racing right there. Really good racing right there. But congrats to the top 5, Jesse King, Matt Haas, Tim Fiegel, Phil Parker, James Shelley. They transfer into the All-Star race, but stick around because coming up next is the All-Star Open. Welcome back to All-Star Break as we're getting set for our second of 3 events here for All-Star Break. It is time for the All-Star Open, where it's the other drivers, the remaining drivers who haven't won a race in the first or second season so far in the Marvel Studios Cup Series, and just like the Rookie Dash, top 5 transfer over to the All-Star race. Now, one driver that wasn't on this, that was on the list, but he was voted in via the fan vote for the All-Star race, and that was Seth Cole, so he got to skip the All-Star Open and go straight into the All-Star race. So that is why he is not in the All-Star Open. But with that said, let's look at the top 5 in the lineup for the All-Star Open. It is Emmanuel Hardnett, Preston Plord, Dylan Young, Johnny Gardner, and Jessica Shelton. Let's go ahead and get the command to fire engines for the All-Star Open.
Drivers, start your engines!
And there you have it. Those were your engines. As we're getting set for another 8 laps here for the All-Star Open. And again, top 5 will be the ones to transfer over into the All-Star race itself. And just to let you know, the drivers who were in the All-Star race prior to the fan vote and the races today were Rafael Leduc, Chris Michaels, Dorian Facepuncher, James Qualls, JT Bryant, Kev Shearer, Mark Lane, Dylan Thoreau, Andrew Rich, Angel Alvera, Reed Rylden, Joshua Collard, DJ Curtis, Kyle Matthews, and Jonathan Zorleen, from winning races either last season or this season. And now we're about to see which 5 of these, I believe it's 16 people? Yeah, 16 people to get this field expanded. So another 5 to transfer over here. Actually, no, it's 17 people, excuse me. So 5 out of these 17 drivers here will transfer over to the All-Star race by finishing top 5, just like the Rookie Dash. Some guys I'd think to look out for. Dylan Young is one driver to look out for since he knows how to get it done on plate tracks. Same with Jessica Shelton, who's sporting a retro Coors car. Another one to keep an eye out for is Sean Galligan and Trent Dunham, especially Trent Dunham. Austin LaPlante is somebody to not sleep on. Anthony McCurry, who's second in the regular point standings, is a guy to keep an eye out for. David Rivera, another one that's a sleeper pick for me. But Emmanuel Hardnett could pull it off as he is on the pole running the Tide car as the pace car's in pit road, which means it's time to boogity, 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 go racing again. Preston Plord actually led that first lap. Hardnett drops to second, but look at Nelson Thornhill, who is in the top 10 in the regular point standings. He's now up to the battling for second. He started, I think, in the 6th position. But look at Matt McIntyre running the retro all-over Jeff Gordon sponsors car with DuPont and all sorts of other types of paint schemes mashed into one. So interesting little retrospective for Jeff Gordon, represented by Matt McIntyre. And look at Benjamin Miles in the 21 McDonald's Big Mac Chevy with teammate Trent Dunham right behind him. Matt McIntyre trying to hold off everybody else as Preston Plord still has the lead, and he's got a bit of a gap between himself and second place. Not necessarily a good thing because they can come right up to you, right on your back bumper. 4 wide for the third spot with, looks like Johnny Gardner, Chris Dollerton, Benjamin Miles, and David Rivera for a time being. And it's still 4 wide with a bunch of people. McCrory, Sheldon, Galligan, and Rivera had to back out of throttle big time right there because he was afraid he might have gotten a wreck started there, and that kind of separated some of the drivers. Thornhill separated from the pack, along with LaPlante and others. But we shall see if they can rebound and catch back up to the back bumper of the 21. It's going to be interesting to see. But anyways, Preston Plord still leads as Dollerton and Gardner fight for second. Matt McIntyre in fourth, and right now fifth is Jessica Sheldon at the halfway point here in the open. Looks like Thornhill has caught up to the pack, and then you got LaPlante and Hartnett trying to work together a little bit. Then Dougie Shears got separated, as did David Rivera and Dylan Poteet, so these 3 are most likely done for chances of making it into the All-Star race, but somehow, some way, LaPlante, Hartnett, and Thornhill made it back into the pack after whatever happened with David Rivera backing off the throttle so rapidly to the point where it slowed up a bunch of people. Preston Plord has led every lap so far in the open, but Dylan Young, Sean Galligan fighting for second, but now D. Young's going to go down low for the lead. With no draft help, though. That's going to be a bit of a problem, but now Galligan's going to leave out Preston Plord up high to try and help the 2, or maybe go to business for himself. And it looks like he is going to go to business for himself, underneath for the lead. David Rivera actually going into pit road. I guess there must have been something mechanically wrong with the 6. Tough break for David Rivera, who had high hopes coming into All-Star break to get something to go for himself. No damage, so it has to be something mechanically, but Poteet and Shears are pretty much out of the hunt as we're a lap and a half away from the open being finished, and D. Young, Mr. Dylan Young, up in the lead. Then you got Galligan, McCrory, Plord, and then a battle for 5th between a lot of people. As we're coming out of turn 4, it's all going to come down to the white flag. Here we go. White flag is out. 1 lap to go in the All-Star Open. Who will be the next 5, the final 5, to transfer? Preston Plord trying to fight underneath Sean Galligan for second and Dylan Young for the lead. Emmanuel Hartnett, Trent Dunham, Johnny Gardner all fighting for 4th and 5th, respectively. But then you got other people trying to work into there. Nelson Thornhill, Anthony McCrory. But they've got to hurry because they only can get a couple of spots. Oh, it's going to be close, but up at the front it looks like it's going to be Dylan Young coming to the checkered flag. Dylan Young wins the All-Star Open to transfer into the All-Star race, and the rest of the top 5 were Sean Galligan, Preston Plord, Emmanuel Hartnett, and close between Johnny Gardner and Nelson Thornhill, but Gardner managed to pull it off. So congrats to Dylan Young, Sean Galligan, Preston Plord, Emmanuel Hartnett, Johnny Gardner for getting their way into the All-Star race. So congrats to those 5. Rest of the field that finished were Nelson Thornhill, Trent Dunham, Austin LaPlante, Anthony McCrory, Carson Gum. Rest of the lead lappers were Benjamin Miles, Jessica Sheldon, Chris Dollerton, Matt McIntyre, Dougie Shears, Dylan Poteet, and then 1 lap down was David Rivera. So that does it for the All-Star Open, but stick around because coming up next is the 15-lap All-Star race itself. Welcome back, and it is now time for the 15-lap main event, the All-Star race itself. Now, real quickly, I do want to apologize for the Open. I forgot to put in Dylan Poteet and Charles Sanford into those races. So to make up for it, I decided to be nice, and I'm going to put both of them into the All-Star race itself to make up for my errors. So don't worry, Poteet and Sanford, you guys are still racing, and it's in the All-Star race itself. So a little special treat for them too, for my mental errors. So it's now a 28-car field. Big field for an All-Star race. And the whole lineup is right here on your screen. Starting in the last row is Matt Haas and the Open winner, Dylan Young. Top 5, it is Tim Fiegel, or actually top 10 in the lineup, is Tim Fiegel, Jesse King, the Rookie Dash winner, up at the front row. Row 2 is Preston Plord, JT Bryant. Row 3, Charles Sanford, Phil Parker. Row 4, Dylan Thoreau, James Qualls. Row 5, Jonathan Zorline and Angel Alvera. So with that said, let's go ahead and get the Command 2 fire engines for our main event. And our final event for a week here at Dragonett.
Drivers, start your engines.
And there you have it. 28 cars, and the winner of this All-Star race will get a guaranteed ride for Season 3 Marvel Studios Cup Series here for the NNSCRA. Tim Fiegel, who got a good finish during the Rookie Dash to make his way into this race. Jesse King, the winner of the Rookie Dash, starting on the outside. And then the Open winner, Dylan Young, qualified dead last. Could be strategy for him to see what will happen as the race goes on. But it is going to be interesting since it's almost double the field of what we've had from the Dash and the Open races. 28 drivers, all fighting for a big prize. And like I said earlier, this All-Star break is the third of 4 non-points events or bundled events here this season. The fourth event will be after race 24 this season, and it's going to be, for the first time ever, a demolition derby at a special figure 8 racetrack that I'm thinking of trying to figure out which one it's going to be, but it's going to be at a figure 8 racetrack where whoever survives first place will also get a guaranteed ride for Season 3, so that's going to be interesting, but that's not for a good several weeks. For now, it's All-Star race time. 15 laps, 28 cars, 28 drivers, 1 winner to get a guaranteed ride for Season 3. Pace car into pit road, which means it's time to boogity 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 go racing again. Excuse me. Well, Charles Sanford leads lap number 1 here in the All-Star race, and I saw in the back, it looked like there was almost a crash between what looked like it was Matt Haas and Chris Michaels. And Chris Michaels nearly spun the car out, but he saved it and kept it going. And look at Chris Michaels actually in the 17. Nearly got turned again by the 77. But he's working his way up here to fight for the lead here already in 1 lap. And another thing I forgot to mention, since this is a bigger field, I'm afraid we might get to see our first wrecks here in All-Star Break because of the bigger field and the longer laps and the more intensity behind everybody. Sean Galligan led that lap, but now Matt Haas has the lead. And Dylan Poteet with a huge evasive maneuver to go underneath for the lead. But here comes Dylan Young, the All-Star Open winner. He's now up into the picture, and Kyle Matthews in the 09s right there, along with teammate James Qualls in the 70. JT Bryant trying to help them out as well. Emmanuel Hartnett, who made his way in via the All-Star Open, he's working his way up into the picture. Points leader in the point standings, Rafael Leduc's gotten himself up here into the mix. And oh, we got a crash! Oh my goodness, that is a hard crash! And it was with Seth Cole, Charles Sanford, and I think Matt Haas, and Seth Cole now barrel rolling. That was a vicious, very, very hard wreck between those three guys. Sanford involved, Matt Haas, Seth Cole. Very, very bad wreck. And somehow, someway, we only had just 3 people involved. I don't know how we got away with that. But at that moment of caution, James Qualls took the lead, and now he is your leader here in the All-Star race. As everything gets sorted out here in the lineup, let's take a look and see what brought the caution out for the first time today here in the All-Star race at Dragonett. Well, here's a look at what happened. So this was in the middle of turns 1 and 2, and right there, teammates Charles Sanford and Seth Cole make contact. Sanford comes up into the 98 in the Matt Haas, and just look at the hard impact on all 3 of those cars. They went hard into the wall at well over 210 miles an hour. And Seth Cole ends up taking the worst of it, as watch his car go up into the air at the speeds. 225 he hits the wall. He goes upside down, goes over top of Charles Sanford's car like a ramp and went into the catch fence. And then it continues to be pirouetting down the straightaway. So wild, wild ride for the 98. And then right here, he's going to get the grass, and then right around there he gets the wall, and then he's going to start to barrel roll a couple times. So 1, 2, at least 2, 3 times his car ended up barrel rolling after slamming the wall, going over top of Charles Sanford's car, and then finally ending up coming the rest after pirouetting and barrel rolling. But very, very hard wreck for all 3 of those guys, hitting the outside wall at over 220 miles an hour. Vicious crash. And in fact, let's actually take an onboard with Charles Sanford. Onboard with Charles Sanford, and this is going to be wild here, so viewer discretion advised. Wow, just that view of Seth Cole's car up on top, going over top of the 03. Man. Well, after that first caution, 3 cars out of the race as I expected. Seth Cole, Charles Sanford, Matt Haas. So we're down to 25 cars past the halfway point, but when we get back racing, it'll be 7 laps to go. Excuse me, but James Qualls is your leader. 2nd is Emmanuel Hartnett. 3rd, Rafael Leduc. 4th, JT Bryant. 5th is Jonathan Zorleen. 6th is Chris Michaels. 7th, Johnny Gardner. 8th, Angel Alvera. 9th, Jesse King. 10th is DJ Curtis. 11th is Kev Shearer. 12th, Dorian Facepuncher. 13th, Kyle Matthews. 14th, Dylan Poteet. 15th, Dylan Young. 16th, Phil Parker. 17th, Sean Galligan. 18th, Andrew Rich. 19th, Dylan Thoreau. 20th, Tim Fiegel. 21st is Joshua Collard. 22nd, James Shelley. 23rd, Mark Lane. 24th, Reed Ralden. And 25th is Preston Plord. So while 2 Retro Racing Enterprise cars are out of the race, you got 1 up here at the front, that being James Qualls. As the pace car's in the pit road, and we're back underway. Green flag racing here in the All-Star race at Dragonett with 7 laps to go. And it looked like the 99 didn't really get going. He might have spun his tires a little bit on that restart, and is now losing a couple spots, and JT Bryant takes over 3rd. But now here comes Chris Michaels making an evasive maneuver to the bottom of the track for the 3rd spot. But yeah, Rafael Leduc, I think, spun his tires on that restart and has lost a few spots as a result. But he can make up all that ground in no time if he's with the right people in the draft. But Chris Michaels, speaking of LeDuc's team Roush Racing, Chris Michaels up here at the front, and he leads us to the line. Angel Oliveira right there on his back bumper. Angel Oliveira in the number 87 Bass Pro Shops Toyota for Furniture Row Racing. Jonathan Zorleen in the 5 has worked his way into the picture. Kyle Matthews trying to get up there as well, but he's in the middle of JT Bryan and Johnny Gardner. But now Dylan Poteet thinking of making it 4 wide for position, but it settles out to 3 wide for now. But back up here at the front, Angel Oliveira takes the lead away from the 17 of Chris Michaels. As laps are winding down, now it's 6 laps to go. Or actually 5 laps to go, excuse me. Well, some near contact between Tweenix Racing teammates Johnny Gardner and Dylan Poteet. Dorian Facepuncher in the 62 Ring of Honor Ford for Young Motorsports is trying to work his way up there, and his team owner Dylan Young in the 2 is trying to get back up there as well. A few cars kind of slipping a little bit, but they're still within reach of the pack, so if they can work together pretty well, they may have something still left. But the 38 of Reed Rowden, I think, is going to be the big one that's going to miss out on the pack, and that pretty much is going to end it for him, unless somehow Mark Lane can drop back just a tiny bit for the 38 to get his draft and then catch back up to the pack, which it's looking to be pretty tough as even Mark Lane's starting to lose some of the drivers up ahead of him. But back up at the front, Angel Oliveira still leads as we're coming out of turn 4 to take 4 laps to go. Or actually, no, 3 laps to go, so it's 3 laps to go here at Dragonett in the All-Star race. James Qualls with help from Chris Michaels trying to get back up to the front. Jonathan Zorleen, Phil Parker there, Rafael LeDuc, Sean Galligan, all trying to figure out something to get back up into the mix. And whoa! Nearly a crash between Young Motorsports teammates JT Bryan and Johnny Gardner, but they saved it. I can't believe they actually saved it, and they're still able to stay in the pack. Little bit of a gap back to the 14 of DJ Curtis, but they should be able to catch back up into the mix. But holy cow, that was crazy good driving on the part of the 12 and the 22. But anyways, James Qualls has the lead, and we're getting ready to come to take the white flag here in the All-Star race. So pretty much once they get across the line, if a wreck happens, the race will still end by racing back. White flag is waving for James Qualls. Does anybody else have anything for the 70? Also trying to look out for everybody who sort of fell back after that little mishap. And whoa, contact between Chris Michaels and Emmanuel Hartnett, but they keep it together. James Qualls trying to mirror drive both lines to keep the top spot. Oh, Angel Oliveira's got to run. This is going to be very, very close. Coming out of turn number 4. Oh, it's going to be a dead heat to the line, but Angel Oliveira by a half a car length. Angel Oliveira wins the All-Star race here at Dragonett. What a finish. The 87 managed to get the draft, go to the bottom, and made it work, and he beats James Qualls to the line by 3/100ths of a second. What a job for the rookie out of Furniture Row. So Angel Oliveira will get a guaranteed ride for Season 3 of the NNSCRA Marvel Studios Cup Series. Well, let's look at the rest of the results. James Qualls was so close. So unbelievably close to pulling that off. But he'll still come out with a good run in second. And then the rest of the top 5 was Kyle Matthews, Dylan Young, and Tim Fiegel. Rest of the top 10 was JT Bryant, Dylan Poteet, DJ Curtis, Chris Michaels, and Jonathan Zorlane. Rest of the top 20 was Dylan Thoreau, Emmanuel Hartnett, Kev Shearer, Rafael LeDuc, Sean Galligan, Phil Parker, Johnny Gardner, Joshua Collard, Jesse King, and Preston Plore. And the rest of the cars that finished the race were Andrew Rich, Dorian Facepuncher, James Shelley, Mark Lane, and Reed Rowden. And the only 3 cars out of the race after that one and only caution, that brutal caution, were Seth Cole, Charles Sanford, and Matt Haas. So that does it for our coverage of All-Star Break. What a success it was. We had some great racing here at Dragonett. Congratulations to Angel Olvera for getting the win and getting the guaranteed ride for next season. But we're going to go on a 1-week hiatus. No races in the upcoming week. We'll be back. Excuse me. We'll be back on the 17th, I believe. I believe that's the day. Yeah, July 17th for our next points race, which will be the Coke 600 at Charlotte. But until then, thank you guys for watching. And I'm Levi McIntyre, the voice of the NNSCRA Marvel Studios Cup Series, signing off.